Hello. Welcome once again to uh, Strange Seeds, our live stream of the Unwritten role-playing game. I am V, the creator of the game, and your game master for the evening or morning or whatever it is, wherever you are. Um, Hopefully, everybody can hear me. Um, if you're in the chat and you can't hear me, I just look like a silent movie, let me know. Um, and I'll try to fix things. Let's have everybody say hi so we can test their mics as well. Thomas,
Hello. I'm still here.
Q,
Oh, that's me.
yeah.
Right. Like, wait a second. Obviously, you can hear me, probably.
Well, there we go.
Here we go.
Faro,
Here I am. Question, is the fan behind me bothering anyone?
I don't hear a fan, so I think we're good.
Perfect, because I couldn't live without it.
Exactly. Alana,
Hi, everyone.
hey. And as you may have noticed, Cap isn't here. Our Celia player. They are not feeling very well right now, but they are paying attention in the chat. So feel free to chat with them. And who knows? Maybe Celia will get texted over the key or D, as they call it. And who knows? But we will play it by ear, as we usually do. So I want to do the usual stuff to start off with. If you like what we do, there is a URL down at the bottom for our Patreon. Please go ahead and give us there. Those people who've noticed that we've been a little quiet on the Patreon lately, there is information coming. And so we will be talking to you soon. What else are going on here? Also, would like to, once again, the reminder of, buy Cyan games, give Cyan money. That's why we're all here, because of their work. So you should give them lots of money, and if you win the lottery, invest a lot in Cyan. Rand needs another cabin somewhere or something. I don't know. But yeah. Also, next weekend is Mysterium, the yearly gathering of Myst fans, is virtual again this year, and so if you want to be a part of that, please come be a part of it. I'm sure Cap can toss any URLs or anything like that into the chat if they are so inclined, or you can just look at mysterium.net and find that information there. There will be an Unwritten panel on Sunday. We're not running a game this year, but there will be an Unwritten panel about Sunday where we'll talk about something involving Unwritten. And I'm sure it will be interesting and informative. Also, I want to once again point out that Pharaoh has a background created by his talented wife, and so I'll throw over to him to talk about that and where you can find more of her art.
So today I have a fox robot piloted by some white chocolate bunnies that is chasing off the dark chocolate bunnies. This was a collaboration between her and I. I came up with some of the idea, and she came up with the rest, and she put it together. So my wife, Koi Lantern, released a children's book recently. It is June Memories, and it is available on Amazon. And it's the story of a anthropomorphic dog named June, and her friend Dragon, and the memories she has of him throughout her life. Yeah.
Sounds
Thanks.
great. No problem. So yeah, definitely take a look at her art and take a look at that book. Once again, we've got a lot of very talented people in the Myst community, and so we want to support each other so that we can all do more cool stuff. Okay, so now to the game. Is anybody here want to give a kind of a brief recap of where we ended?
I could. try to do a quick recap.
Just before we ended. You don't have to recap the
Oh, just
entire
where
session.
we ended? Okay. That kind of ended in a pretty fiery mess, right?
There was the
Landorus is walking through the desert,
yeah,
oblivious to anything else in the world.
nice fields, and he's got the trees and the birds and all that, and we nearly perished in a fiery volcanic explosion, where we had found a body that dressed in sort of dunny clothes. There was a journal and one of those hand linking devices that only responded to Toma, but it was broken. But while the rest of the crew was in there, there was another explosion, and Toma saved everybody.
Oh, there we
And
go.
also brought the body back with us to the office. So now we have a body and a journal full of interesting secrets written by Escher. And, well, discussing Escher, written by this other person who may or may not be the dead person. And with clues to saying they're about hidden keys. So that's kind of where we left off, I think. Right, guys?
Sounds good.
The notes got a little hurried toward the end.
Yep.
Too exciting.
But we're going to go ahead and, so that's what happened last session. Before we move on to, going on that, we're going to continue from there is we're going to talk about a significant milestone. An unwritten significant milestone is sort of the end of a chapter. And it's where you can do a couple more things than your minor milestone that happens at the end of every session. So what you can do with a significant milestone is you get the same thing as a minor milestone, which gives you an option of swapping some skills or renaming an aspect if it would need that sort of thing. But you can also do the following things if you like. You can gain one skill point, which you can then spend to either buy a new skill adequate or increase a skill that you have by one rank, with the understanding that there is a limitation on skills that called a columns limitation, which is that no level of skills, good, fair, great, whatever, can have more skills on it than the one below it. So that means that you always have kind of a strong foundation of skills there. You can, if you like, spend one of your refresh for a new stunt. Reduces your permanent refresh, but you get a stunt, and you can never reduce that below to 0. You always have at least one fate refresh, and you can attempt a journey roll, which is a roll designed to model the things that your character is doing off stage in terms of personal projects or things that they're working on. We kind of assume that unwritten characters being the kind of crafty and proactive people that they are working on side projects, just in between things or whatever, and that's what the journey roll is. It's not so much a roll to indicate progress, but to indicate a conclusion to some sort of project. You don't necessarily I mean, you could say at any point, I've been working on my X or I've been working on my Y, but Unwritten doesn't track that because we focus on, the fact that, that you may have been working on many different things and any particular of them might have be ready. And you can decide for the current narrative where we are currently, what things you want to attempt to be complete. So we'll talk a little bit about the first part. So we got anybody who is going to be spending some points to get more skills or move skills around?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to add a skill to adequate. I'm going to add athletics.
Athletics, got it.
I figure Mishavan has been dragged kind of out of Dini one way or another and has done a lot of wandering around, a lot of hiking here and there, some running from fiery explosions. So he's gotten a little bit more fit, and
A little bit
now
more
has,
exercise there.
Yeah.
and has athletics now.
Oh, good. Okie doke. Any other people who are wanting to make those sort of changes at the moment? Thomas? Is Landris doing
No,
anything?
I've got my journey roll I'll do when
On
we
a
get
bit.
there. But
Q.
Yeah, I would like to add a skill at adequate level 2. I'd like to add empathy.
Okie doke.
Just being a bored rich kid and getting to do whatever you want is fine, but I think she's starting to realize that other people matter too, and dealing with someone who's passed is something that she hasn't had to do before, and she's seeing like the impacts of Dunny culture on other cultures, and I think that's sort of just waking her up to make her a more adjusted person.
Sounds good.
drugging your friends.
Alana.
Well done.
I do want to make some skill changes.
Sure.
And I think, can I swap 2 skills and then also gain 1 skill point? Is that
Yes.
they're not mutually exclusive, you said, right?
Yes, because one's from the minor milestone and one is from the significant.
So for the swap, my strongest skill has been will, and I haven't used it yet. And I think I want to swap it with survival after some recent events.
Sure.
Tome has been having to endure some pretty extreme situations and somehow managing to stay on her feet and get by. So I'm going to swap will and survival, which is a pretty significant swap because one is great and one is adequate. But I'm then going to add 1 point to bump will up to fair, because I don't think I should just lose all of my will. I think so the will is dropping down 2, survival is moving up 3.
The will, if we move that up 1, that'll give 4 that you have it fair, but only 3 adequate. So that imbalances a little bit.
Okay, that does violate that column rule, doesn't it?
I mean, we could add another adequate, and then and the next significant milestone, you could bump that up. You could swap. Well, you got survival. It's a pretty good one there. Yeah, I mean that's kind of in terms of the point. That's the point. You can create the take a new skill at adequate, and then on the next one you can bump the will back up. I think that's probably your best option.
Okay, so leave will down at adequate for now, and then add an additional skill. So I think, I was realizing when Q was talking about it that Tome doesn't have an empathy skill. So I may also add an empathy skill as she's trying to be a little bit less of a loner.
So what would that be your adequate skills then?
So then will, surveying, notice, rapport, and empathy.
Sounds great.
Empathy is probably going to help with some of your other skills too. Like it'll complement.
Yeah, exactly.
It's good.
Absolutely. Okie doke. Is anybody going to be wanting to buy a new stunt of any sort? Not a requirement, especially since it does, it does reduce your refresh. But not something that happens very often, but it's always an option.
I think I'm good.
Uh-huh. Sounds good. Okay, then to the journey rolls. Let's start with backwards from the way we did before. Alana, do you have a journey roll that you would like to attempt?
I do. Yeah, I think this is a significant journey moment for Tome because she's been on this quest to figure out her origins and to figure out who she might be related to. And they found this body that looks similar to her, like a parent perhaps. So I think a gather information journey roll would make sense, either that or declare a detail, but I think I'm leaning towards gather information.
Sure. Yeah, the difference is that if you declare detail means that you get to decide what the detail is. A gather information is you get to ask me questions.
Yeah, I think I'm more interested in asking you questions, letting you decide.
Okay, fair enough. Okie doke. So you're going to be gathering information. How are you going to be gathering that information? Is it going to be, you're going to be doing research? Is it been research you've been doing? Is it, places you've been sneaking into? I mean,
Yeah, so the things I've been thinking of are all very recent events. Bringing this body back to their headquarters and also having access to those journal fragments. I think she's been doing kind of research into, what might have motivated all of this. But I think that this has been a major windfall in her research, is to have access to these things.
sure. So let's do a research roll versus a 4.
Okay. Oh, nice. That was a +2, and my research is a +2, so I tie it at 4.
Okay. So that would be you get 1 question. Now, if you want to spend a fate point right now, which means that you'll be 1 fate point down starting the session, that to tag some sort of aspect, one of your aspects to give you a +2, that gives you a 3. That would give you a 3, which is both 3 questions and or a potential big deal, big hint. So
Yeah, I'm definitely going to do that. I will tag my mysterious origins journey aspect and spend a fate point.
awesome sauce. Okie doke. So that means that you have 3 questions about your mysterious origins, the body, etc., like that. You can ask them now. You can save them for things that come up later. Plus, you have the hint, since you didn't excel. 3 is an excel. Actually, no, it's 2. Wait a minute. Sorry, I apologize. You get 2 questions. You get 2 questions. So I guess I apologize about that. I mathed wrong in my head. So yeah, but I mean, you can ask them now. You can ask one now, save the other for later. Whatever. So
Yeah. I guess maybe you can throw this question back at me if it's too open-ended or unanswerable from the information that we have.
no problem.
So I'm wondering whether, I am wondering 2 things. I'm wondering, one is whether we can tell whether this body that we found is in fact the author of the journal notes. And another thing I guess I'm wondering is whether the author of the journal seems to be aligned in motivation with Escher, or whether there is any kind of conflict between them.
Sure. Now, are these questions about that you've been working on about your mysterious origins, or is it just about this more specific thing that you were looking at the moment?
I think these are related to my origins because Tomei has made this connection between herself and the body, but she hasn't been able to place the body in context yet. And she's also just trying to connect this all to, if she is related to this person, how did it come about that she was taken away from this person?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that, since we're doing the journey roll and you've been trying to figure out that, let's couch those questions in terms of how it connects to your mysterious origins. Like something like, can I figure out if this person wrote this book? I think is something we can do in play. Because that's a kind of a, let's sit down and, but I think, this is your chance to really dig into your mysterious origin. So let's couch those questions that way and you can get the juicy stuff.
Okay.
So about this person, you want to know, what is it that you want to know that connects to your mysterious origin?
I guess Hmm. Um, I guess I want to know whether this, whether the body we found is um, affiliated in any way with forces within Dani society,
Sure,
um,
that's a great question.
um,
So that would be question
or
one.
powerful interests within Dani society. Yeah.
Yeah. So your research of some of the terms, yeah, that you found, in the in their notes, even outside of the fragments that we used for the puzzle, um, seems to indicate um, a connection to something that was once called the cult of the tree. The cult of the tree, actually has some really old origins, back in the time of King Mierta, back when Denis was very tolerant of sort of heretical religions. There was a temple of the tree, um, and they were a registered group. Um, but they had some particular symbology and some particular, common, jargon's not the right word, but words and phrases that were very common to their dogma, that you find in the notes. So that it means pretty much that this person was somehow connected to some modern version of this cult of the tree.
Um,
And Denis cults have a long and noble history for messing with Denis society. So there's definitely be very obvious. They're very likely to be doing something behind the scenes.
I'm curious if you can share what any of those words or phrases might be. I'm thinking about how we were told to keep an ear out, I believe, for strange seeds as a phrase that would indicate
Seeds
that
are a
one.
big deal in the seeds are a big deal in the cult of the tree, especially this discussion of building a new tree, um, you know, b- um, planting a new a seed to build a new tree, so that that would be grander in the eyes of Yavo, so that so that we may be exalted in his worship, sort of
Mhm.
thing. Um, so definitely, the the finding the seed to plant the new tree is a huge deal in that cult.
Got it.
And there are some symbols that you see that involve that are stylized versions of a tree, coming out of some sort of seed in the ground, that sort of thing.
Perhaps a little bit like this logo we have in the middle of our chat.
That's something similar. That logo is actually based off of the Great Tree logo from.
Mhm.
But yes, it is. It is very very similar.
Okay.
Absolutely. So that's one question.
Yeah, I'm gonna save my other question for now.
Awesome. Okay. Pharaoh, do you have a journey roll?
I do. Um, and the thing is, I'm torn
Sure.
between creating a resource and finishing a project. Uh, so the project is this hand scanner thing.
Mhm.
I want to figure out how it works so that way I can integrate it into the security on our door. The resource is I want to sort of bring the Guild of Engineers into this thing that we're a part of.
Okay.
So that way we could get, if we needed mechanical information or like the engineering type stuff, we could have that as a resource.
Sure. So you're thinking, a person like a contact at
Yeah,
the Guild of Engineers?
something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we wanted to kind of define, you kind of want to define, who's your contact and kind of what sort of stuff can they get you access to?
Okay. Um, so when I was working on projects, you know, as part of working on projects at the Guild of Engineers, part of an engineering team,
Mhm.
and the team, one of my favorite team leads has recently been promoted up to a higher supervisorial position.
Sure.
And I think that would be a good contact.
Okie doke. Any ideas for a cool name? You know,
That
something
was my
Denise sounding?
next thought, and it is always a challenge.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I mean, of course, we can open up to ideas from the group or chat.
let's open it up to the chat. Does the chat have any suggestions for names?
Ooh.
Let's see there. So yeah, we got Junie Girl, Parker. I think that's Rachel. I think that's Cap. So y'all, what's a good Denis name for a high level uh, engineer? We'll see if any of them are paying attention. And the delay, of course, too.
Yes.
While we're waiting for that,
Yeah.
what sort of stuff do you think that this person can get you access to?
Some specialized equipment, some of the larger equipment stuff, something that I couldn't just have in a personal lab.
Hmm.
Also, specific engineering information stuff. Despite my best efforts, I don't know everything.
Oh, sure. So since it is a resource and that essentially is a stunt, we'll need to kind of mechanically
Right.
codify it a bit. How about you can spend a fate point to get a hold of your contact and essentially have the equivalent of a discovery roll, successful discovery roll at 2.
Okay.
So that way, just you get two research questions.
Yeah, I like that. And this sounds more interesting than just security upgrade to the office. So I like it.
Yeah, sounds cool. So we gotta do the roll. Let's see here. Let's look at your skills. What skills should we do this off of? Um, since you're an engineer, I mean, let's just do it straight off of engineering. It's a pretty good roll for you, anyway.
Mhm.
So, um, yeah, and it's at a 4. So roll engineering versus a 4.
Sure, I'll still manage to do that. Yep, that's 2 minuses. Uh, let's see. So I definitely want to invoke an aspect here.
Hmm. I mean, too clever engineer. I mean, it's you're an engineer and you're known to be clever, even if you're a little too clever for your own good.
I'm thinking about that. I'm also thinking practical to a fault. Like it could be really helpful to have. I think I'll do practical. It would be helpful to have this connection. It
Hmm.
makes sense to pull on the resources that I have made through the years. So I think I will do that.
Sure.
And I'm going to take a risk and reroll.
Oh,
Minus
drum roll.
2, pretty bad. That is better. That's a +1.
+1. Okay, so that's a 5 total. So you get a 1, and that's a success. So yeah, you get let's see. Let's look at the chat. I think someone suggested the name Kogi.
How do you spell that?
They have Cogi, but could be a K. As Denigo could be a Hogi, or Kohi,
I think.
and it depends if Escher's saying it or not.
Right. I like. Let's add an N on the end.
That's true. That's a very Denis name sort of thing with an N on Kogan.
Yep.
Okie doke.
Thanks, Chad.
Thank
Yep,
you to
thank you
Junie
so
Girl.
much.
Junie Girls, that's Junie Girls' suggestion there that we played off of. So thanks, Junie Girl. Okie doke. Let me write that down so I do not forget it, because that would be bad.
Yeah, I'm writing it down too.
Okie doke.
What was the spelling we settled on there? Was it Kogin or C?
I wrote down K now that I think about it.
Yeah,
Okay.
Kogin. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okie doke. So we've got a new person on the inside in the engineers. Okay, Q. Do you have a journey roll you're thinking of?
I think so. It would be very Kennett for her to be experimenting to try to find a substance that would act like adrenaline without without having
Super caffeine.
horrible, like without being addictive or horrible
Mhm.
after effect, right? So I think that would be a private project that she would have been working on.
Sure. So yeah, that's sort of a project that's also sort of a declare a detail.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure
Because
if it would be create resource or
okay, there's a different ways you
declare
could
detail. Like
create a
basically,
resource.
yeah, I don't know what's the difference kind of thing. What are you envisioning for declare a detail?
Well, my thought was just it was something that you'd figured out how to do so that you could, easily,
okay.
reproduce it later. It would still be a skill roll later and that
Okay.
sort of thing.
Well, that makes
If you
sense
wanted
to me.
to have it all the time, as just something that you carry a pack of this stuff with you all the time, that would be a great resource.
Okay.
So it kind of depends, do you want to, have it on tap all the time, or I mean,
'Cause I'm kind of thinking Landris is gonna need some after like walking for a day. And like he pops back. Finally, I get to go have a nap. We're like actually dead body.
yeah.
We have
I
some.
think seeing dead body would just give him that instant adrenaline dump. But yeah,
Yeah. Oh man, just I guess she can do her craft is good enough that maybe just declaring would be sufficient because
Yeah.
she has
And we'll make it, that
her
she's
craft is
relatively good
great.
at it. So it won't be a hard thing to do unless you're,
For her, it won't be hard for her to make.
yeah, unless you're in a place where you don't have lots of materials.
Okay.
So yeah, let's just
Cool.
do it, declare as a detail then. That will be craft, I think.
Okay.
Let's see if you've got anything. Yeah, craft I think is the best one here, since
I
that
think
covers a
so.
lot of your, caterer sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll do that once again as out of 4.
Okay. She got 0 on that roll. So but her craft is a 4.
Mm-hmm.
So to succeed, we have to go. She has to be higher than 4 then, right?
4 or it has to be 4 or equal total.
Okay. So yeah, so she just has the 4 from her craft.
Okay, that's a tie.
Could, pull the whole caterer's been working with lots of ingredients and chemicals for a while, or
That's your call. A tie is enough to make it, but it'll have some sort of little quirk, so it won't be
that could be fun.
entirely.
Let's do that. That
It
sounds
won't
fun.
be.
I
Yeah.
like quirks.
So it's not entirely side effect free.
Okay.
What sort of side effect should it have?
Landris's eyes just dilate first time you inject him with. I can hear colors, guys.
Yeah.
Yes, we've all seen the time knife. Yes.
I haven't thought about that. I mean, it could just be as simple as feeling jittery afterwards without getting like the mental or physical boost, like having a sort of disadvantage.
Yeah, you would have you'd have a aspect applied to you of jittery for the rest of the scene.
That might make sense.
Mm-hmm. And in general, so probably it would be that you would then be, what would happen is that you would, do your roll to make a batch, and if successful, then you've got a bunch. And but if people drink, if whoever drinks it has jittery for a little while, for the rest of the scene.
Okay.
And maybe if you do really well on your roll, then that won't happen.
Oh, that makes sense. Side effect of jittery.
Yeah. And this is not necessarily a resource because it's not a stunt with a really specific sort of thing. So I'm going to say, we're not going to worry about creating a stunt and all that sort of thing. or resource for that because you're gonna have to roll and make it every time. To those people out there, your GM might handle it differently, and that's fine. Whatever you guys, whenever you're a GM or a player, if you work out things that everybody seems to feel good with, you go with it. That's good. Okie doke. And finally, last but definitely not least, I know Laundress has had a roll ready here for a while.
I have, well, this might take a bit though. So as we've talked about a couple sessions back, Landris's big goal is he's been trying to figure out this whole writing thing. And he's supposed to be like taking classes and all this other sort of stuff. But as he already attempted once and was unable to fully comprehend, he's going to try and get it. Where he, kind of just, he's looked over all these books. He's been the one like writing the linking books, everything else. He's kind of getting a little bit of a grasp of the Gyro Hefty maybe. And he's attempted to write his first age.
Ooh, okay.
So I've got the aspect we're trying for, and we can go into that whole part of the milestone if you'd like.
Yeah. So, okay. So practicing the art.
Yes.
Terribly,
mind you, but.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's going to have a higher difficulty than normal. I've been giving everybody 4s here. This one's going to be a 6.
Oh, boy.
So you're going to have to try real hard. Or
I don't know if I can make a 6, depending on the skill. But that's okay.
Let's take a look at the skills and then that you have here.
I don't think athletics is going to work for this one, Jim.
No. Yeah, I mean, the best you could probably use is survival.
Right.
Because you could best it around that. So, but it's only a 2. You would have to. 6 is pretty high.
6
is very high. 5. We'll make it 5.
Make it a 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
So good chance that you're likely going to have to, spend fate points on this. Or
that's all right. I'm perfectly okay.
Or you could always, if you fail, you could choose to succeed at a serious cost.
Right, exactly. Which that sounds very fun.
Yeah.
But we'll see how I do here.
Okie doke. Now here's the thing: we have to define. Oh, did you already roll?
Okay. I did, but I'm not.
No, what you got?
Okay. I got 3 on the dice. And if we're using survival, that's 5.
There you go. So you got a tie.
I got a tie.
So we would have to start off with what is the theme of the age? We're gonna. What's the age theme aspect? What were you intending?
The aspect I had was island paradise with secrets beneath the surface. Taking some of the stuff from Unai with some of the stuff from what's the name of that place? It's in here. Hold on. We were there. It was the place that had the water.
Ishna? Or Kennelin?
Kellen? No, not Kennelin.
Kellen.
I think it was Kellen. Yeah.
Kellen's the name of the dude.
Well, Tellen is dude. Scott.
So maybe it
was Kellen, but yeah.
Kellen? Yeah, so Kellen. The one where like we were gonna swim, but then the islands were coming and crashing in. Like taking aspects of that with some of the subterranean of Unai, and like trying to mash them together.
Okay.
So we get
since you got a tie, it's not quite exactly what you want. It's going to be Savage Island Paradise with secrets beneath the surface. Which means that there's like the flora and fauna is likely to be likely to have some dangerous aspects to it.
Oh, I totally wrote the blue book. Dang it.
No, not Haven, but close. But
quick, we gotta find the monkeys, guys.
Yes, you'll have to learn all the main recalls and everything like that. So
that's okay. I got a decent rapport.
Okay, no. So what are you naming this age?
Well, so in keeping with the fact that we're breaking the rule, I've looked all over GoArk and I haven't found the rest of it. But I was thinking like, the dunny rule, the dunny sort of version of obfuscating the rules, right? Or breaking the rules. So I have less chi, which is rules, and nothing else. So I was going to try and do something fun there.
Okay. Now
that also kind of keeps us like, if this is just found in Landers, maybe somebody just thinks it's a rule book and doesn't bother trying to pick the lock or something. Because totally gonna go to Michelle and be like, hey, you need to lock this. Do it.
So you have a couple other options when it comes to age creations specifically.
Yes.
This is the theme, and if you want to continue working on, adding other aspects to the age, or maybe, writing, something that modifies that age theme, that would be another journey roll on the next.
Right, and that's
now. Yeah. However, if people go in, the link is set, and so changes that you make at that point are now writing things into an active age.
Exactly.
So that's a decision you have to make.
Well, so we're probably, so this is because much like Gen, I hate likening Glandris to this character, by the way, but it's okay. But much like Gen, this is the first experiment. So we can go in, we can explore, see what worked, see what didn't work. Maybe we find a cool place to hide our stuff. But also maybe the age like collapses into a star fissure at some point in time on us. We don't know. It is just copy pasted from other books right now because he doesn't have actual training, but in like his second, third, fourth experiments, maybe he's actually writing proper ages. They're getting closer to that. And that's what the next experiments are for.
Just really want a giant man-eating plant. Let's make that happen. Just so we can call it Seymour.
Okay.
I mean, that's a possibility. That's up to V. I'm copy pasting from like, and here, I've even got the book. There's nothing ominous about this at all.
No.
No.
Dark,
there's nothing.
Scrape marks or anything.
Yeah. Well, no, that's the trap book for Riven.
Oh, okay. So there you go. Nothing ominous about that.
Nothing ominous at all.
No, the backside's gonna end up with like claw marks in it. Totally fine. Yeah.
It's like one of those books in the Addams Family. You open it up, things come popping out.
But the other fun thing that we could do, instead of just sticking with the name Lesh T, we could also put it out to the chat or have a little thing for other people to name the age. That could be fun.
This is true. So let's keep that in mind, and people throughout the session, if people have ideas, they can throw them in the chat. Yeah. And if somebody, one comes up that we like, we can grab, or we can choose later, etc. But Lesh T is the working
title.
Yeah. Okay.
I did very seriously consider what's the dunny word? Hold on. No, it's on here somewhere. Sorry, that's my fault.
Dunny for WIP.
Work in progress.
There was the dunny word for soon on there. And so I was thinking just soon TM in dunny. But
what does a dunny trademark look like? Oh, that's a whole rabbit hole.
It's a tiny.
I bet you if we looked at the keys close enough, we could find it.
Exactly there. Yep. Okay. No. So that's what people have been doing. We've had our journey rolls. Now I'm guessing we can just kind of decide, how we want to coalesce at the. You guys were still in Kennelin, right? Or did you go home?
We made it back to the office.
Made it back to the office. Yeah. You brought the body, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got a body there.
Barely made it back alive.
Is there anything? What we can do is we can start off with Landris coming back from his survey. Is there anything that you guys want to do specifically before that happens? The three of you?
I know Kenneth had covered the body and tried to prepare it properly.
Fair enough.
To rote description to show some respect, but I think the mood was pretty somber. When it came back, right?
Take a moment, perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But we have this journal, so I'm sure that Thomas has been going through it.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
doke. So we will then have to the point where Laundress links back in from his survey, links into the office, I assume. You're linking to the office.
Then there's a dead body on the table.
Yeah.
Well, you leak in,
Well,
and
there's
there's
a
definitely
sheet,
interesting
like it's
smell in
covered.
the air.
It's covered. And it's, oh yeah, we all smell like volcanic ash, probably, right?
Yeah, it smells kind of. There's kind of a
We
weird
probably smell
burnt.
like sulfur.
There's kind of a weird burnt meat and sulfur smell in the air.
So he hasn't checked his D in a little while.
Nope.
So he's just like totally been going to hide this book. And he's just like, all right, turns around, hey guys, so I finished. Just staring around.
Smells like a giant fart in the room. Like
Right, what happened?
Uh-oh.
It's not Celia.
Yeah.
You say suddenly, and where did Celia go?
Yeah.
Celia
got called away.
I assume she's just wandered off somewhere, and we know where she is.
Celia has been called away by the surveyors for a meeting of some sort.
Oh, that's a pleasant smell to bring to the guild of Celia. She got to shower first. There we go.
It shows she's been working hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so what's happened?
Well, there was not a volcano.
No explosions were involved.
So
we all have our limbs. Everybody's got all their fingers.
Well, so not seeing Celia right away, he's going to gesture to the odd body-shaped sheet on the table and say, "Is that Celia?"
Of course not. This is a strange body we found in the middle of a volcano. Celia's just at a meeting. But
so all the little flags about like you brought a dead body back, like start going off like you brought a what?
Well, you may be connected to Thomas some way, and he was dressed in dunny robes. We couldn't just leave him to die in obscurity. So
yeah, it was sort of a game time decision. We were in a very dire circumstance, and I helped link everyone out and didn't feel right leaving maybe my dad behind. So yeah, I kind of just carried him on my back. This is all very recent. We're still processing it.
Yeah.
Do we know what he died of? Like, is this a pathogen and now we've killed everybody? Like, well, what? Like,
no.
Is it, do we need a quarantine? Do we have to what?
Murder rocks.
Cause of death was a combination rocks, fire, and concussive blast.
Trying to think if Landris would actually know what sulfur smells like, or if he's going to start freaking out because now he's like smelling something weird.
Sulfur's a pretty basic compound.
I was saying he probably knows this. Okay, so he's not like, wait a minute, am I having a stroke? Like, is this what this smell is? Like,
is this the end? Oh,
right? Crap.
No.
Like,
Sulfur's a pretty basic compound.
Right. Okay, so he knows what the smell is. So fire, rock. Were you playing with murder rocks with the natives of the age?
We didn't say this all happened in Kennel then, or
Yeah.
well,
no, he knew you were going to Kennelin, but when you say fire and rocks and there's sulfury smells, like his immediate thoughts are, we found more murder rocks, and of course Mashavin was playing with them.
Well, no, this is
like,
not
wait a minute. Are we dealing with accidental homicide on the table now? Crap.
No.
Like, is this a whole nother issue?
No, the person had passed before we got there, and we were just trying to figure out what happened, and the second explosion kind of keyed us to how he died.
So you don't actually know if he died from an explosion or if the explosion just damaged the already dead body.
Good point.
Technically, that is true.
We found some pretty sketchy stuff on Kennelin.
He sighs and goes to try and get our ghetto maintainer suit so he can like at least do a quick test to see if this is going to kill everybody.
I mean, whatever tests you do, there's no sign of
Well,
pathogen
yeah,
or anything like that.
No, Landris is paranoid because Landris is always paranoid.
But just so you know, you do your tests or whatever.
Yeah,
and then,
it is him trying to be okay with the fact that there is just some random dead body. Celia's gone, and I assume somebody tells him that Celia was sent off at some point in time.
Yeah, they mentioned it.
So he's not just like freaking out, like, well, crap, she's back on this place where people are exploding, like, But yeah, okay, yeah, he's just trying to process this without like fainting in the corner of the room. So yeah, he does his thing. He's just kind of silent while everybody else is doing their thing, and he will be as respectful as he can because either Toma has already said it or he would notice that he does kind of look like Toma. So
I have a quick question. Actually, V, I should have 2 fate points now.
Sure. I will make that change.
My question is, should we go back and tell the natives that the problem is resolved?
We don't know if it resolved or if it's worse. We should probably have a look at the book.
Right.
I thought part of the thing was y'all were evacuating them here. I thought that was something that was happening at the end of the last session.
We were trying to make the volcano not explode, but it turns out it was not actually erupting. It was just
somebody had artificially done something, and that's what caused the volcano to kind of worry everyone.
Yeah.
But like, who knows? Maybe there's a third explosion and the volcano really will erupt. Like.
So what are you guys doing?
No.
I think if anybody is going to go back right now, Tome might be the best choice, as we might actually be from there.
Yeah,
semi-familiar face. Or we can all go.
Probably should have backup, but should definitely have a look at the panel and make sure there's no lava.
Yeah.
But somehow, like, we've gotta know what we're gonna do when we get there, because they gave us a bunch of paper, and then we're like, you make the volcano stop, and like, here's your paper that we made for you. Oh yeah, Landris. These people were making like age paper, like book writing paper.
You just look. Yeah. Speaking of, why did you have me lick a linking book?
That was why I needed to know if it was the same kind of paper.
Oh.
So to see if they were just making random paper or if they're making paper for the writing of ages, and it appears that they're making a specific paper for people to write ages.
So they're manufacturing non-regulated.
Yeah.
Cortinia.
And appear to think that the Dunny are gods who can stop volcanic eruptions.
Which, given the proper time and tools, we probably could. But this was not one of those times, and we didn't have those tools.
Might be a good time to hit up your engineering buddy.
So he's exhaling heavily in this maintainer suit, and the most exasperated sigh you've ever heard. It was just like, good Lord, like, Yavo, help us. Like, what is happening here? Because clearly he can't report this either, because they're totally not supposed to be on this stage. And
there's knocking at the door.
What?
Oh shoot.
Now can we see who's at the door, like with our camera?
Should be able to.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Adri is at the door.
Get rid of the body.
No, we don't have. It's under a sheet. And
trust Adri.
Adri's
not under a sheet. I am looking at it.
Well, I said I covered it. I said I covered it.
We should put it back under the sheet. Let's take it upstairs and lay it in a cot.
Okay.
Okay, so who's taking the body upstairs? And
I will, because I'm in the maintainer suit. So,
all right.
And who's opening the door?
I'll resume my door opening duties.
do I need to roll to carry the body upstairs?
No.
Okay.
Please don't fail that roll.
I'm
Suddenly
assuming
the
the
body rolled
athletics. I got a
downstairs.
+4 there.
Okay, doke. So you hustle the body upstairs. You open the locks, chunk. And door opens, and Audrey's there. It's like, oh yes, Master Mashavan. Devlin had asked me to check on you and see if there was any materials or things that your team might. What is that smell?
We need a coffin. Don't ask why.
We've had an adventure recently. Everything's fine.
Okay.
I'll put on a pot of tea something that smells good.
So
lavender makes everything better.
So yeah. Anyways, Master Devlin had asked that I inquire to see if there was any extra materials or resources that you needed in your adventures.
Maybe could we ask Audrey about this Escher guy, because we've all agreed that, like V said, that none of us actually know Escher. Mm-hmm. But we know from like the brief reading they did of the journal that he seems to be the person in charge of this running around and mysterious stuff. So do you think we could ask Audrey, being from the Guild of Messengers, if he knows about who this Escher might be?
So I tell Audrey, hold on 1 second, and then lean back and yell, is everybody decent?
How long did it take me to take a maintainer suit off?
That wouldn't take that long. You're used to it, and you're just like.
All right, so he comes back down like unclothed from the maintainer suit and just in his regular. Apparently the only person who doesn't smell terrible in the room.
Okay, so at this point I invite Audrey in.
Okay.
And,
I think that's a good move.
He kind of sniffs around, like, "Are you making food?"
Please.
I think that's an insult.
Yeah, that is. Oh. That would be very insulting.
It was me. I tried making something. It was really, really bad. You don't want to taste it.
No kitchen privileges for you.
So Leah got sick, and so she's up sleeping it off right now. So
Audrey would totally.
Maybe you should leave the food to the caterer.
Yes, obviously in the future that will be the case. My eyes got too big for my stomach.
Okay. So yes, as I was telling Mashavan, Master Devlin just asked me to check back with you on a regular basis to see if there were any resources or materials that you needed, or if there was any information that you wanted, any notes or anything that you wanted to have passed back to him.
Would you like to ask your question, Ken?
Yeah. Should I?
Go ahead.
Okay, well, it's like maybe Audrey, I have a question for you. Maybe you'll know more. We've come across a name, Escher? Or do you know anything about this person? None of us have heard of him.
Escher. There is an Escher who is a minor guildsman that I know of.
What guild?
The Guild of Zoology. He's something interest in training animals.
Okay.
Interesting fellow, speech impediment.
Okay. Have you met him personally?
I have seen him. I don't think I've been formally introduced.
Okay. Just kind of wondering what sort of dunny he is.
He seems like a relatively, proud dunny, as you would one might expect. Where did you hear the name Escher?
He just looks lost. He doesn't know what people are talking about.
We found a damaged book, a journal of some sort.
Is this a journal relevant to Master Devlin's interests?
It may be. This
Do
is
you-
weird for Kenneth to be offering this information, but she needs, I think, she needs to know where Escher is being placed. Is this cool with everybody?
I think at this point, Toma is going to do something a little bit rash and willful, and she's gonna, I think she kind of followed Landers upstairs when he brought the body up there, but she's going to kind of rush down now and say, Adri, enough mincing words. Are you for or against the cult of the tree? Because people are dying.
Okay.
That's great.
Landers is just like, nobody tells me nothing, and goes over to get like a glass of water or something.
Yeah.
So
this is normal tea. You need this.
I'm going to take that as a sort of self-compel of your mysterious origin. So I'm giving you a fate point for that. Because you're causing yourself problems. So Audrey looks at Tome, kind of eyes widened, and then kind of, I think that I should arrange a meeting with Master Devlin quickly. Would you rather he come here, or would you rather meet in a neutral location?
I don't think we can leave this. I don't think we can leave the office alone.
Right?
Right?
I think I will go see if Master Devlin is available, and I shall return.
Thanks, Adri.
And he quickly just, bolts out the door.
I didn't think we could leave unattended. Like,
fair enough,
body unattended. That didn't seem wise, right? And
Dead
not that
body
Tony wouldn't have
upstairs,
stayed.
weird sulfur smell. Nah, we're fine.
I mean, we don't want to leave the body unattended. I'm not 100% sure we want Devlin with the dead body. But...
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I wasn't sure of
So what you guys gonna do while you're waiting for Devlin to appear?
Do you want to hide a body?
No, I don't. Like, the thing is that I don't think this is the person we should hide this from.
Yeah.
Like, I think this is exactly the kind of information that Devlin needs.
I think Toma is feeling, given that there might be some cult of the tree connection, given that Devlin and Audrey have talked to us about strange seeds before. I think she wants some kind of accountability from them and wants them to have to face what's going on and deal with it, because she's not okay with it. So,
and we're not super well equipped to deal with the rest of the people on Kennelin either, right? Like, we're kind of divided on how to, or we don't know how to proceed with helping these people. Like, we can't single-handedly move an entire village. We don't have an age to take them to.
We don't have
the Guild of Writers have a place where they can take them.
Well, that's not entirely true. But anyway, actually, I do have a concern. I don't know if anybody else remembers, but the last time Devlin was involved at our office, anywhere nearby, there were shadowy people following around and lurking and sneaking that Toma saw. So we're going to bring him back here.
I thought the shadow was following Buddy. The
Audrey?
guy we don't like. No, the guy we don't like. Sorry.
I think following Talon, right?
Talon, yeah.
Am I remembering incorrectly here?
I think, yeah.
Oh, okay.
The shadow was following Talon.
Pretty sure. Okay. Well, then he wouldn't be that. Okay. he still might be a little paranoid about people because there have been shadowy people around the house before, but less so because, yes.
All the more reason to not leave and let them know that we left.
Right. Just scoot right on past that whole, like, he may have violated the law, but that's okay.
Okay, so is there any specific things, specific actions that you're going to take with our late friend here, or?
One thing that Tome wants to do while we still have the body here before we decide what to do with it, is to see, since I think we have one current. Oh shoot! Did she break it? I think she broke it. Never mind.
Yeah.
There was the one machine that was responding to her handprint, and she wanted to try it out with the body's handprint, but I'm pretty sure Tome broke it by stepping on it, by testing out different types of contact with it. So never mind.
But didn't we use also one for like the lock system, or was that something? No, that's the one that reacts to our D. Never mind.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
do you want to? Oh, we kind of need the results of the autopsy in a way.
So yeah, okay. I clearly.
Escher, I want to know if he just got caught in the side blast. Maybe he's in on it.
So yeah, from my little rigmarole with the maintainer suit, obviously not doing anything intrusive so that I'm not like defiling a body, but running. So it's clear he wasn't like poisoned or anything like that. It's clear he's not carrying anything that would be hazardous to us. Is there anything else that I can discover about this? Question mark.
You do have medicine skill at fair.
I do.
So let's roll that at a 4.
I'm gonna actually put on my camera because it's there for a reason.
Oh, there you go. Fancy schmancy.
That's a 4.
Okay, so 0. So yeah. Is that a 0 on your roll, or is it a 2+?
No, that's a 4. That's 2 successes and 2 neutrals, so for a total of 4.
So yeah, I mean you're no healer, but I mean it really does. I mean heavy burns. The burns the burns aren't post death. So probably had to do something with it. Lots of physical damage. And burning. So probably looks like someone who was in like a mine explosion or something.
We do like the little proby. There's smoke in the lungs.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. No knife wound or blood on the clothing. Yeah.
No indications of like of foul play except for the fact that they were in an explosion.
Okay.
That may or may not be foul.
So Landers would explain this. And give the full results there.
Building by like getting a fan going or something over the range hood or something. She's going to try to.
Well, you're with the Guild of Caterers, right?
Yeah.
You're with the Guild of Caterers, so we clearly have one of those really nice ovens with the big overhead fan. So we just the industrial.
You're gonna put the body on the stove?
On this thing, so it's those really nice ones.
No, but I mean, like we all smell too. Like we were an explosion. So
Talk about yourselves.
Kind of clearing out the bottom, right? Because
so you guys are just generally doing general cleanup stuff.
Yeah, probably.
Air it out.
I smell.
Because the guild master's coming, so should probably like not have a soot mustache or something.
Yeah, exactly.
So you all can go use the showers. I smell delightful.
Yeah, after hiking for like a day, I'm sure.
Well, I'd smell better than sulfur, and if only 3 people can shower before he gets there, go.
Is there anything besides cleanup work that you guys have been doing?
Should probably come to a consensus on how much we're going to tell Devlin, right? We should probably also demessage Celia so that she gets a heads up in her meeting.
Yep.
I think that would be wise, right? I also think she would have wanted to tell Devlin about this too. Like I think she would have definitely sided with Tome on this.
So
correct me if I'm wrong, Cap.
Yeah. So do we want Do we want to send her a D message while she's in the meeting, or do we want to wait for her to be done with the meeting? Because it could be like Zoom, where all D and key messages sent while people are in meeting get sent to the like meeting administrator.
But
It's not that
else
sort
has
of-
a key,
the chat
and she has
logs
a
there.
D.
Yeah,
It'll be,
the D's are not keys, and D's are not that advanced.
Oh,
in
there we
terms
go.
of a
I
group.
think we should message her in case she can get out of her meeting faster.
I think
Ah,
that's
there we
a good
go.
idea.
You know, blah blah blah, types of pencil, blah blah blah. You're like, I gotta go.
Cap says, that sounds reasonable to them in chat.
Cool.
Okay, so you've updated Celia. I'm just gonna kind of say Celia is in the middle of some surveyor business that is unrelated to the situation that you guys are in.
Yes.
So totally stuck in the meeting, and like now it's sitting there like tappity 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 tappity.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going through every revision of the New Year's changes to SOP when surveying ages, both new surveys, existing surveys, or rendering unsafe surveys. And there's like 100 changes in the Word doc that they've got to go through line by line.
Yeah.
And then there's a test at the end because there's always a test.
Required. Yeah.
Yes.
And then there's argumentation about policy. Should we really be doing that? Well, not. But okay. So you've cleaned up. You've
Lana, you had something?
I think I have formulated my second question.
Oh, go for it.
My journey roll earlier. And yeah, you
we
can
all
decide how to answer this, but the question, the spirit of the question is, who should I be angry at? And the specifics of that could either be who is responsible for this explosion, which again, I feel like we don't have a way of knowing. Or on the other hand, who is the most direct adversary of the Cult of the Tree?
The cult, the most direct adversary of the Cult of the Tree would probably be, the government. I mean, the guilds themselves. I mean, the guilds, when they're on the up and up, do not approve of these sort of cult splinters. They're not, they're heretics. They're, unknown variables. They cause problems. The tricky thing is you never know when somebody in a guild hierarchy or structure might be involved or not.
Right.
But definitely, they are criminals essentially,
Right.
especially all the things that they've done. And so, they would be, a upstanding, maintainer or guild person would be very much interested in bringing them to justice.
Okay. No guilds more than any other guilds.
No guilds more than any other. Maybe those people who are more involved in the state version of religion because of heresy.
Right. Yeah. That makes sense. Well, from what we can tell, Devlin does not seem to necessarily be a member in good standing with the rest of his guild. He seems like he may have his own divergent agenda. So
he definitely has his own divergent agenda, and I'll give you with that question that it doesn't seem likely that he is allied with this particular group, since he's kind of pointed you at them and pointed you in their direction, and you've been stumbling over their stuff. So,
right. Okay, thank you.
Sure. Okie doke.
God help us next time Telling comes around, because he wanted to take these books from us. Remember?
Okie doke. So,
my job.
Any last things? Otherwise, I'll move to the arrival.
So real quick, we are going to tell Devlin everything.
I think we should. He already knows about, like, he gave us those ages for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
The ages are listed in this journal.
Okay.
It might be the piece that he needs to move on his end, right? Like now we have name, we have a name, Escher, and we have something about keys, and we know about a cult. and there are people who need help. So I
Yeah.
think my vote, and I think Kenneth's vote too, would be to reveal all. But that's just me.
I think Tom is also prepared to reveal all, but maybe in stages, and depending on how Devlin reacts, she's sort of prepared either to say like someone died, can you please help us, or someone died, how dare you. But that's kind of going to be later in the interaction that she might maybe want to spring that on Devlin a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
So before he gets here, after everybody's showered and smelling good, Landris is like, he's going to bring up the fact that everybody keeps mentioning this journal and he doesn't know what they're talking about. And he'd like to be at least somewhat in the know. So can he see the journal and, et cetera, et cetera?
Mm-hmm.
Sure, it's on the desk over there. Enjoy.
Okay. So he quickly peruses through it, and on the off chance that Devlin decides that, haha, this is what I need, and takes the journal with him, he's going to shorthand as much as he can from this journal, specifically things like the small entries, so that we can piece together this puzzle after Devlin takes our book.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Telling is your guild master. You do things like this. You expect the worst.
Okie doke. So there's a knock at the door.
And check to make sure it's the people we think it's.
It is Audrey and Devlin.
Good.
So I let them in.
Okay. So Devlin and Audrey walk in, and Devlin looks at you and says, "So, I'm told that you have important information, especially about this man Escher."
Yeah. Close
I
the
look
door,
at Audrey.
baby. Might want to sit down.
I look at Audrey and say, "That's the part you focused on."
Audrey just kind of looks at you and is like, shrug.
Don't shoot the messenger, right?
So I would love to hear what you have.
All right. So I think the shaman at least will start with the understanding that Toma, feel free to interject whenever you feel like you would like to. So the shaman starts with, reminding we found this book, Kennelin, and during the exploration of the beach age, no, it was the plains age with the copse of the trees. We looked in the book, saw panic people, something like Snowmer Ash, and then explained what happened in Kennelin, people making paper for Escher, volcano looking like it was erupting.
Have you ever told him that you found Kennelin before?
No, that's been a while.
Okay. Just making certain. It's like,
I think you're right. We did not tell him.
like,
Also, Landra still doesn't know where you guys are getting this Escher stuff from, because Escher is not mentioned anywhere in the journal itself.
Oh, isn't it? I thought it was.
Just the letter E.
Oh.
One of the natives in Kennelin mentions the name Escher.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Also, if it's not too late to establish this, I think Tome wants to remind everyone that before Devlin arrives, I guess, if it's not too late to retcon this, that the Kennelin book is still hidden on Sallow, and she doesn't want anyone to divulge its exact whereabouts.
That's fine. Yep.
Fair. Okay. So he says, "You've been keeping a number of details from me that I think might have been rather important. So we have a population being exploited by this cult. And we have on an age that was not one of the books that I presented to you.
Correct. Correct.
And that's where you found these people who are under the thumb of this cult of the tree.
Only just put those pieces together. At the time, this other age seemed more connected to a different puzzle than to your specific requests. So we just waited until it seemed relevant.
And you discovered that Escher found this, was involved in this, and you found. Okay, question: did you actually mention the body?
We hadn't reached that part yet.
Okay.
No.
And you found, but you did mention a journal, right? Or
think
have you mentioned the journal yet?
we haven't gotten to the journal yet.
Okay.
We got to the part where the people making paper for Escher.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've got at least one age in a legal mining operation, which the materials seem to be useful for making ink. Another age with a illegal paper making operation with heavy exploitation of the local natives. And this connection to Escher. What other things have you found connected to Escher?
I look at Toma real quick.
This is not with the flow of the conversation, but I think she's going to interrupt and ask, like, how do we make the volcano stop? Do you know how to turn this off? Someone is controlling it.
We would have to find out the source of it. Since it didn't seem to be, you said it wasn't actually the volcano erupting, but something else?
Correct.
I would assume that we would have to send some experts in to determine what's going on.
Do you know of a way that Escher could be controlling this from another age?
From another age? That seems unlikely. If there was active control going on, Escher may have arrived and started something and left. But in terms of active control, that's unlikely to happen across ages.
He would have to have.
So from his sipping his tea in the corner,
he would have to have the original book, right? Like,
I say, yeah, from sipping tea in the corner, it's like, what if he changed the book?
Yeah.
Okay, Devin then looks at Adri. Adri kind of shakes his head, and Devin goes, "To my knowledge, Escher is not trained in the art.
But if he's part of the cult,
there may be others in the cult that are.
And we don't know where the descriptive book is for Kennelin. We're pretty sure we just have a linking book.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the descriptive book could be anywhere.
And if somebody is changing the descriptive book.
But it did seem to have a source. There was at least one person there who seemed surprised by the explosion.
One of the natives?
And I'm not sure how they would have known, why would there be a series of explosions?
Well, if you were subtly changing a volcano so that all it needed was a little bit of maybe tectonic activity, you could simulate the tectonic activity with a couple of murder rocks.
Mm-hmm.
Murder rock.
Regardless, there's
what exactly is a murder rock?
It's a colloquialism for some exploding rocks we found in Unai. Like, Landris just seems like wiped. He is just staring. If it were whiskey, it would be something completely different, but he is just staring over this cup of tea, just like the whole events of the last few excursions have just taken it out of him.
And you mentioned there was someone who was surprised. Was that, besides the natives?
It was the natives that was surprised that their mountain was suddenly on fire.
And they asked us to stop it specifically, and tried to offer us paper as like a sacrifice, kind of.
Do you feel that they are in danger currently?
We haven't been able to see panel, so we're not sure. But with the second explosion, we were nearly killed, so we're not too sure what happened after we linked out. So they may be in danger. If the volcano goes up, there won't be anything left of that village.
Would you be willing to provide us the linking book to Kellen, or provide us access to it to send resources?
No, it's time for you to start answering some of our questions, because we're putting ourselves in life-threatening situations, and this is clearly a game of life and death, and you haven't even told us what we're really after here.
Devlin looks sort of surprised. Just like, wait.
If it's
the kid is talking. The kid is now dressing me down.
Like Landers would totally mention, like, well, but if they're dying in lava, do we have time for questions? But he's not actually saying that yet.
Adri actually seemed rather amused. And it was like, that's fair. He kind of looks at Audrey and looks back at you. I will try to answer what questions I can. So, what is it that you want to know exactly?
What did you?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. What did you think we were getting ourselves in for? What are you hoping to find out from all of this? What are we actually after?
My initial hopes were to find out some information about what seemed to be odd reports of various different ages, and possibly smuggling operations, or unauthorized exploitation of local populations. Rules out that we suspected that there might be that some group might have agents among the various guilds that might be facilitating this sort of thing, which is once again why when I decided to have a group of outsiders take a look at these particular situations, these ages. I did not expect violence.
But you knew that there was exploitation, that there might be exploitation of local populations going on.
It was a possibility. That's one of those. It's a possibility that happens very often in these sort of situations, especially smuggling operations. And I felt that we needed some confirmation and some more information.
And why is that your job? Why are you putting yourself in this role?
Like, Devin looks at Adri again, looks back. As a guild master, especially of the Guild of Writers, I feel I must uphold the highest attributes and of character, and that the Dini can provide, the Dini can embody, and thus injustice is particularly loathsome.
Okay, Tommy's going to use her truth sense stunt on this to detect BS.
Okie doke. And you're going to be using.
So it's deceive +2, so it's a +4.
Sounds great. Roll it. Yeah, roll it. This is an easy one actually. Roll a 3.
Well, I rolled a -3, and that's with a +4 is only a +1.
He is definitely not telling you everything.
Is it time to unleash the corpse?
I was wondering if it's time to at least indicate that we have proof of the cult, like is in the form of a physical journal, without giving him the journal, but ask him specifically if he knew that we were going to be chasing some crazy cult.
Okay, so Toma's just gonna like mutter under her breath, "You're not telling us everything," and then if you want to step in, Kenneth, at that point.
Like, you're probably wondering how we can ask such pointed questions, and it's because we have physical proof that we could show, but the involvement of this cult tree and verbal confirmation of the name of Escher.
Audrey said, kind of blurts out, "What evidence do you have?"
We have a handwritten journal. Oh, go ahead, Landris.
I was say, when somebody goes for the journal, since Landris is drinking tea, assumingly by it,
yeah.
He'd like to rip out the page with the table, so that's ours, and they don't find these things first, and like just stash it away in my pockito.
Do you have deceive or stealth?
I have intrusion and rapport. I can bluff the crap out of this. It's just my bookmark. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I love it. Rip. It was my bookmark.
Okay. Go ahead and make a roll off your intrusion. I want to see what your total intrusion, your roll plus intrusion is.
Right. That would be +1, so 4 all total.
Okay, no. So while what's his name? Devlin. Devlin is watching is watching is talking to Kenneth. Not Kenneth. To Kenneth. You kind of like you're kind of over there. You hand over and just kind of kind of slowly kind of pull it out. It comes out relatively easy since it is a damaged journal, and you kind of fold it and put it in your pocket. And kind of and just I guess do you want to slip the journal back to where it was, or do you want to hold it in your hand, or?
Well, no. If she's like bringing it up, this is like he'd walk it over.
Okay.
Like, this is totally not. It's 100% a natural thing. He's grabbing the journal right now to bring it over.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you hand the journal over to Devlin?
No, I'll give it to Kenneth.
Okay.
Let her handle this.
Okay.
She's the face right now, so.
There you go.
So this is a journal we found inside the volcano near the explosion. So it's damaged, but it still has some keywords and phrases that have aroused our suspicions.
Devlin takes the you have an end of the novel. He looks through it a bit. He stops at one point and kind of shows it to Audrey. Audrey kind of looks over and kind of like nods. It's like then he kind of best as he can closes the journal since it's not in kind of pieces, but it's like this could be very, very useful. I think that if I get this to the right people, that some people in the Guild of Maintainers who I trust, I think we can begin a thorough investigation, since we have definitive proof of the cult and their activities, and that this is he pulls it out and says, "Is Escher named in this journal anywhere?"
I don't think so. Tell me, did you find? No.
There are references to E, but
yeah,
there are references to E, but nothing that clearly says
one
Escher.
Of the villagers said the name Escher.
The journal was found in Kennelin. From what? Yeah, Landris doesn't know that. Never mind.
Oh, yeah. Now he holds it to the side. He's like, so, and this, do you have a book to this age, Kennelin? You said that there were people in need.
Yes.
How can we provide the aid? What aid do they need?
Can you first demonstrate to us that you're capable of providing it? That is, can you demonstrate to us that you're capable? I mean, you're a member of the Guild of Writers, that you could, well, I guess we don't have the descriptive book anyway, but that you could provide.
He could totally have a separate age on him where he can send these people.
Right.
So Tomei says
Go ahead.
I was gonna say. So Tome says that. Can you provide? The... Adre puts his hand out on Devlin's shoulder and says, I think it's time for me to take over. And Audrey stands up. So let me introduce myself fully. I am Guildmaster Audrey of the Regima, i.e. the unseen. Regima being the name for the unseen, secret police that's supposed to have been, stopped, years and years, hundreds of years ago.
Not you a little efficient for a messenger.
I knew there was something about you. I'm impressed.
Master Devlin has been.
We're gonna go to jail.
Yeah, the end. Celia escapes with her life.
Master Devlin has been graciously working with us on our pursuit of this particular cult, and our friend Escher is definitely an important person in that cult. So, Tome, you seem to be the person most interested in what's happening here, beyond just a general concern for the natives of an age. Is there a reason for that?
Oh God, this is a lot to take in at once. Okay.
Clouds in their mind too.
Bio break, right?
Let me get back to you.
So it is about that time where we normally take our break if Toma needs a little bit of time to process what she's about to say.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right.
Did that help, Alana?
Yes. Can we do a minute body break?
Okay.
It's a 2:45, so
we will take a bio break about. You want 5 or 10 minutes? You guys, 5 or 10?
Probably 10.
10?
8 minutes. 8 minutes. It's like looking at my
8 and a
clock,
half.
like, that would make it a nice even 50. Oh, 7 minutes. No.
7 and a half.
Ignore me.
Ding ding, sold. Okay, we'll take about a 10 minute break. And people in the chat can chatter and decide what their So I just saw the note from Ellery, who in the chat, who's talking about that you've been working the Denis in Black, the dibs. So okay,
right.
So okay, we will shift over to the break, and we'll be back in about 10.
Great, thank you.
Hello, Shara. We are back. Sorry for the little bit of a protracted uh, intermission there, but we are back. And so the situation is that Guildmaster Audrey of the Rayima has revealed himself to be the person behind what's been happening to our intrepid characters. So how do we want to just jump into the conversation? Are you guys reacting in specific ways or?
So I gave some thought to this during the break, and I thought I would kind of talk through where Tomat is at right now.
Sounds good.
And this could either be out of character, because I would like other people to be able to weigh in on it. So it could either be out of character just to run it by you as players, or I don't know if in character we want to like confer amongst ourselves, like take a moment, or whether that would be suspicious.
As a GM, I'm happy to do whichever way you like. As players, you can figure out which way you want to do it.
Maybe OOC, because it's pretty direct talking to Toma. We're all going to be pretty much staring at Toma, right? Like, oh dear, like what's she gonna do, right?
Yeah, because 100% in character, Landris just like chokes on his tea. Just
what? Great.
Right. All right. So let me talk this through out of character, and you can still let me know if it doesn't seem authentic or whatever. So I think Toma's main thing is that she is against abuses of power, and she always rebelled against her parents, who she felt were way too caught up in their own status and power. And she was certainly upset to see whoever was responsible, I guess Escher and whoever else, was responsible for this kind of volcano contraption, basically oppressing the local people to exploit and extract paper from them. So she's been very against all of that and definitely open to getting some help. That said, the Relima seem potentially like an even worse abuser of power, that they are these shadowy secret police with no accountability who I assume that she's read about them a little bit in like the extensive libraries and like the estate that she grew up in. Like she knows something about them and finds them a little bit horrifying. And so she's also now kind of spinning this alternate narrative in her head where maybe the cult of the tree, maybe it's not terrible. Maybe, maybe Escher was the one bad one. And who knows, maybe this person who might be her dad was actually trying to stop Escher, stop this volcano when he got caught in the explosion. So she's suddenly really questioning how she's feeling about the cult of the tree. And she's even wondering, like, if the cult of the tree is persecuted, maybe that's why she was put up for adoption. Like maybe she was willingly offered up for adoption for her own protection. Because, now she's actually had a pretty safe and stable life and she hasn't had to deal with the secret police persecuting her. So she is not going to tip her hand here. She is not going to reveal that she might have any relationship to the cult of the tree, and she is going to keep the body hidden away. That's the conclusion she's come to. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah. So the one out of character question I would ask is, yes, there's all this stuff happening. And yes, definitely we're going to keep the body a secret. Yes, we're definitely, because last time these guys were in the public eye, they killed a guy. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, maybe we keep some of our other stuff still close to our chest, like we have been the entire time. But again, the other big thing is we're wasting a lot of time talking when people could be dying in Kennelin. And so in a deal with the devil sort of situation, getting them assistance more rapidly might be to the betterment of Toma's cause, because if her dad was there, it's likely cousins, possible other siblings, other people might still be in Kennelin and could be dying because of exploding volcano. So let's get them taken care of first, because they, if they're living, probably have way more answers than the dead guy upstairs. No offense.
You might be able to redirect Adri's question.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just claiming, growing up, might be able to just put it off to your youth and inexperience or whatever, right? It's like seeing all these, people in dangers.
Yeah. Okay.
You might be able to chalk it up to that and then redirect over to, but I can totally get you the book though, because I hid it myself, right? To like go, oh no, but look, I'm super helpful. Well, not trusting them.
So I have a thought.
Here's an idea anyway.
Oh, I have a thought. So Landris can write linking books. Landris can totally say, yeah, I'm going to go get it. We're not going to tell you where the book's hidden. We're going to go get it. Landris is going to go back to Sola, link through to Kennelin with a blank book, write a new linking book to Kennelin, and bring that back, and hopefully not die in a fiery, apocalypse of volcano death.
Yeah, I don't think there's any reason not to bring these people to Kennelin. I think we do want to help the people of Kennelin, but yeah, I definitely don't think we should give up our only Kennelin book.
Yeah, if you just went and copied the Lincoln point, if you open it and it looks like there's no lava,
right?
And then you could go in, and then we can go back and check up on the rescue effort after. At least that way, boy, Landris is like Toma's hero here. Like, that's a good thinking.
And we have practice creating distractions while Landris goes off and writes copies of books. So.
We're very good at that.
All right.
I can make something explode on the oven. I can do that.
Well, I mean, no, you could just say we hit it off somewhere. Landris has to go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Landris is the hiking guy, so.
He's got the best athlete. He's going to make the time fastest, man. That's
true.
Okay, so I'm going to kind of assume that maybe you guys asked a little bit, I would like to sit down, because there's for that all that happens, there has to be some discussion between the characters, right. And you may have said, we want to discuss amongst ourselves for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
That's reasonable, yes.
And they're already suspicious. What if we make them more suspicious?
Well, and again, can totally pull the I can use a little bit of reporter, just with everything else that's happening. The Reliuma don't specifically have the best track record, and with all the other very suspicious goings on, it would abate concerns, subtly gesturing to Toma, if I was allowed to go on my own to bring back the linking book here.
Yeah, we definitely need to have time to do that.
Is that so? You want to pretty much have Landris kind of make, after you guys chat, make that sort of offer, and I'll have him make a rapport roll.
Yes.
That's a good idea.
So it'll be go a rapport off of 3 on this one.
Oh heck. That's a -1, which puts me at a 2. But I can invoke. Hold on. I can do a thing. Totally do a thing. Hold on. I'm sure I can do something. Where's my character sheet? Sorry, I was taking notes.
I have aspects that might help you.
He's driven with a useful naivete, and he's really this means a lot to Toma. Toma's a part of this group, and right now this is the only, because with everything that's happening, he doesn't trust the maintainers. With everything happening here, he doesn't trust those two. But she is part of the core 5, right? So he trusts her, and he's gonna do what he can, especially if her family is actually there and that's really her dad upstairs, he needs to be able to make something right here. So Yes. So I want to use that journey aspect.
Okie doke. And see, that would give you the
A
plus.
3.
Yep. So now, so you're trying to kind of, convince Adri here to kind of go with your plan. And, unfortunately, Laundress has been discovering he's not as smart as he thinks he is.
Yes.
That little aspect there. So,
Yeah, there we go.
If that is the case, then, and he is not as smart as he thinks he is, then you would get a fate point.
Most certainly, he is.
Otherwise, you can spend the fate point for that not to be an issue. AKA, I am compelling that aspect.
God, this is a scary.
No, that's a perfectly good aspect to compel, and that's 100% a very good thing to point out. Because yes, he is definitely not as smart as he thinks he is. So we can go with
choice. Your choice. Do you want the fate point, or do you want to pay off the compel?
No, I'll do the compel.
Okay.
That makes sense. It 100% makes sense.
Okay, you got a fate point, so you're back up to 3. So you spent 1 and you got 1 back.
Right.
Okie doke. So, Adri kind of looks, says, I think that we can work with this. Where are you? You'll be linking off to a hidden location?
Yes.
Okie doke. Well, go ahead.
All right.
You start.
He goes upstairs.
Yeah. What? You go upstairs. Okay.
Yeah. So he goes upstairs. I assume. Okay. So he's gonna just like make sure because he hasn't been to Kennelin. Mm-hmm. Clearly, they came back to the office. Our linking book there is not destroyed, right?
In Salo?
No, in Kennelin.
The one that you guys linked out back to your office.
It is right.
You guys linked out in the middle of the fire, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah.
So it is likely destroyed.
Good. Thank you for telling him that, because he wasn't going to bring a linking book. So he grabs like his little satchel that's got a blank book and a spare book back to the office and a spare book back to the quarantine one. He's just gonna grab that. He's gonna head upstairs where the Kennelin book is hidden? Question mark.
No,
maybe Toma will.
So
I don't know.
Oh, Sola, right? Yes. So he's gonna head and go to Sola, which is in the locked cabinet. And so he's gonna like position himself between like some Ashavans between like him and the other two, so they can't see exactly which book he links into. And then he's gonna go to the Kennelin book. He's gonna read it. He's gonna check to make sure he's not gonna die when he links through.
Why do you have to link through?
Because I have to finish the book in Kennelin.
Right.
I can get basically everything but the last line done outside of it, but I have to finish the last line in Kennelin.
Right.
So Kennelin on fire.
Is it on fire?
Is everybody panicking?
Well, let's get back to that in a moment.
Good.
Ooh, yeah.
Laundress goes off. Adri says, it might be better for us to wait at one of the Rima safe houses so that we are not interrupted. So if you're willing, we can move from your place over to to one of our safe houses so that we can continue to discuss, and I can arrange for some of these resources. I'm thinking I have a few healers that who owe me some favors, as well as some engineers and some stonemasons in case there's any that sort of thing. We can begin to gather our resources so that we can respond quickly. I'd rather not have them come here. That would draw a lot of attention. And I'm guessing you guys don't. I'm guessing that you do not want that sort of attention on your office.
I mean, Toma is definitely not going to go to a Relima safe house. I do not think that makes
All
her
our
feel
things are here. We worked
I
so
think-
hard.
Would
I mean,
you?
also the main concern right now is we still do have the body upstairs.
Yeah.
Yep.
So maybe it's like, well, could we just give you the book for Camelot, and maybe we'll like send, you know, people who we like. Some of us have made contact with these people. Maybe they'll recognize us. Maybe we'll be able to facilitate.
Do you want to be? You wish to be a part of
Maybe.
the relief team that we're sending? Will you be sending?
I think that's a good idea. Right?
Yes.
We
Think
will
that's a
need to
good
gather
idea.
those people. Will you
So, yeah.
will you be
Yeah,
willing
sure.
to meet us at some point, some location of your choice?
Yeah, well, we could definitely take these people to your safe house, but like we've already invested a lot here, and I'm sure Mashaban wouldn't want to leave his workshop behind. He's put a lot of work and care into this stuff. So if everything looked business as usual here, perhaps that would also aid in the covering up of a rescue mission to Camelot.
Fair
That's a
enough.
good point.
Where can we meet you to begin the relief procedures? What is a good neutral place for you?
Let's see when Laundress gets back. I guess I would just run to wherever, go to a part of the city where near one of the safe houses, right, guys? Sorry, OOC. I'm stopped. I'm
Yeah.
not too sure here. I'm not super,
Yeah.
I guess, familiar with the city as you guys either.
So I could use my resource for a room at the Guild of Engineering now.
Hmm.
I'd be willing to go with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
So so I spend a fate point, and
Not so much a question or anything like that, but I'm willing to roll with that.
yeah, it's like for a discovery roll, I'm saying like declaring that. Wait, not deduction. Sorry, got those confused. So yeah, use my resource. Say, can we have a secure-ish, safe-ish room in the Guild of Engineers where some people can meet?
Sounds good. So,
Yeah.
then I figure then that you get that taken care of. You establish that with Adri that that's the location you'll be meeting.
Mhm.
And he says, "Okay, we will be waiting for you there with a relief team." Okay, so he and Devlin leave. What are you guys doing in the meantime? Just waiting. Are you going to be waiting for?
I think at this point we should do that thing that we were chatting on Discord about and bring the body to the graveyard age. I think we need to get the body out of here at this point.
Yeah. Did any of us see Laundress pull that page out though? To know that we just didn't give the information about that age to the secret police.
Oh, right, because
Because then they might send people to go look.
Did they leave with the journal? Did they take that?
Devlin did take the journal, yes.
Okay.
Oh, we almost certainly did not see
Yeah,
it.
and Landris's like shorthand journal is like with him because like shorthand is encoded enough that nobody's going to be able to understand it.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
Does Laundress still have the page on him?
100%.
There you go.
So I think
He wasn't going to be just like, by the way, here you go, guys, like in front of the Denny Stoppo. Yeah.
Johnny Stoppo.
I think before going to yet another new age, we could probably wait for Laundress to get back.
Suddenly it's like the secret police are watching our place. Like,
right.
Yeah.
We don't want to do anything weird outside our door. Like, we can't move the body into the city anywhere now. Like, it's got to stay here or go someplace that we can link to.
I'm definitely not advocating for going off and exploring another age right now, but given that we are under their watchful eye and that the only way to get the body out of here is by linking, it still seems like it could be worth getting that done while Landry be writing an entire book.
Yeah.
So something you could do to get rid of the body is, remember, the big thing at the end of last episode was Landris was establishing us our own link point that nobody else was going to know about in Sallow. And so we still have a linking book to that point that's far away from the other points in Sallow.
That's true.
In our office. And it also has a linking book back to the office there.
That's where the Helen book is, isn't it? Sorry, not the Helen. The Kennelin book is, right?
Yeah.
No, they put the Kennelin book closer to the original book because nobody came with me. They linked out afterwards. So they're closer to the actual spot.
Yep.
Okay.
That is true.
So do we risk the body being set upon by animals or something though? Like,
I would have hidden that book somewhere where there weren't animals.
yeah, but then we're bringing a body, right?
Okay.
Like,
you could create some sort of situation where that the body would be safe.
I was walking a real long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a hard place to find.
How about that? That like we could make a makeshift coffin.
That's totally doable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
No problem.
That sounds like a better idea because also Sallow is not one of the ages that was mentioned in the journal as having a key hidden in it, and so will probably be under less scrutiny.
Right.
So.
And the cult wouldn't necessarily think to look in boring old Sallow, right? If they're the enemy. Neither
possibly.
Nobody should
that's
know.
True.
The other thing you could do that might save some time because then you don't have to craft a coffin is you could put the body in one of our maintainer suits.
And
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Then it would be like hermetically sealed and it won't get like fungus growing on it and stuff.
There you
That's
go.
a good idea.
We supposedly have a few of them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we should, because obviously now like we definitely can't leave this place unguarded with our friend upstairs, but we also never seem to go any place without, like not together, except Laundress sometimes goes and does some things. But and Solia has meetings and whatnot, right? Like so, some of us have to go someplace.
Okay, so
really
let's settle the details down. So you guys are going to be taking the body to Sallow in a retainer suit. Does that sound right?
That sounds good.
Okay, so and it's going to be you're going to be stashing our late friend in the location where you have your private Lincoln point in Sallow. Correct.
And
which also has a book on the way back.
Yes.
Yeah, so most of us will actually be on Sallow, just in different places.
Yeah. We technically didn't split the
Okay, so you three so you three are going to do that on Sallow, and Landris is off going through Sallow through the other direction.
Wait, before we send all three of them up, does anybody want to stay behind to keep an eye on the office?
I'll stay behind to keep an eye on the office.
Don't we have cameras and security systems for that?
Yes, that is.
But they're not live feed. They're like, you got to take pictures with them.
Kenneth has high athletics. She can haul around a body in a maintain suit. Don't worry.
Thank you, Kenneth.
So 2 of you going to Sallow, 1 of you staying behind. I'm headed to the Kennelin book right now.
Yeah.
Which it was pretty close by. Because it was like the next grove of trees over.
Yeah,
it was like the next grove of trees over, hidden inside a tree.
Yes,
like you sent me a message on the D about it. That's
Okay. So Mashavan will be staying at the office. Tome and Kenneth will be stashing the body in the one place in Sallow. Laundress is going to the other place in Sallow, finding the hidden Kennelin book, going there, checking to see what's going on, and making a book, right?
Yes.
Awesome. So, okay, before we hop over to Laundress, Mashavan, what are you going to be doing while you're there? you just gonna be waiting around, or?
I want to be tinkering at my workbench with the feed for the cameras around us, and I'm going to be working on a game.
A game?
Yes.
Oh, well, there you go. Okay.
Not playing a game.
Everyone else is running off and he's like
creating a game. Yeah, you're gonna
Gattaca.
you're gonna be developing the knee version of the Nintendo. You know, the Nintendo. Okay, so laundress. Okay, so you get to Salo, you hop through there, you find the book, the Kenlin book. You hop through there. There is not like lava or anything like that. There's still smoke kind of coming from the mountain. It's not the top of the mountain. It's coming kind of like out the kind of out the side where where they would have told you where that sort of side cave that they had gone through. It's the smoke is still billowing out, but there's not quite the sulfur smell anymore. The what do you call that? The village seems deserted.
Oh crap!
Like
okay,
people like they've run for it.
Right. They figured out we weren't going to stop things. So.
Crap. Okay, so nobody's around. Period.
Not in the. I mean, if you wanted to like search around or something like that.
I'm still okay. As far as Landris is aware, Devlin and Audrey are still in the office because that all happened after he left. Yeah. So he's still of the opinion that he needs to be hurrying because they can only like delay them for so long. So he's going to quickly find a place that he can throw the office book that can either A, destroy it, or B, not be found by this cult of the tree people, because he still doesn't trust them either. Yeah, he doesn't trust anybody involved with this except for our 5 little group of people. That's it. So
maybe there'll be a small cooking fire left unattended.
Or there's water outside the cave, wasn't there?
Wasn't the cave like an out hike away from where we were?
It was a ways.
It was like up a side of a mountain. Like there was.
Yeah.
Right, but outside of the cave, didn't you say it was like water with like the little channelwood pathways? Or am I creating something in my head?
Yeah, I don't remember anything like that.
Nope.
So
no,
sorry. Okay,
that might be your new age that you envisioned.
Yeah.
For some reason, like I pictured it the way it was described, kind of like Tay, except instead of a hive, there was a city there, and you had the little wooden pathways, and then there was another one where like the volcano came up out of the water. But I'm clearly
any water at all. Sorry.
Okay, see, there we go. All right. Well, heck. Yeah, clearly. Sallow really does it to you. Yeah.
Okay, so you're headed towards the are you gonna I
want the Lincoln point. No, I want the Lincoln point here. So I finished writing the Lincoln book. I just want some way to destroy or very securely hide away the book back to our office from the cult of the tree.
I think
destruction.
There's a lot of, there's a village here and there's lots of buildings. They're not, like Denis stone buildings, but they're buildings. There's stuff left. They left all their stuff there. So there's packs and there's chairs that made out of logs and there's lots of places. Don't worry about it.
Just set the town on fire to burn a single book. Yeah, there you go, Landers. That's what you did. No, he's gonna.
The secret place. You.
So, are you trying to burn the book on the way out?
Well, no, I guess like so. Okay, I could probably hide it like under a floorboard somewhere that nobody's gonna look until we get back, or I can go back at another time.
Yeah.
To sort this out. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll do that, and then wow, I'm back with another Kenlin book.
Okay. Okie doke. Okay, so let me get back to okay. So Mashavan, you hear a loud noise from upstairs.
Okay. I grab a heavy tool that could be used as a blunt weapon if necessary, and proceed cautiously upstairs.
Okie doke. You smelled a little bit of a smell of some sort of explosive.
This is suspicious.
And you get upstairs, and
Love him.
there's the case that the Salo book was in has been blown open.
Which Salo book?
And the Salo book is laying out.
So is it the one to our private linking point, or
it is the one to the private? It is no, it's not the one to the private linking point. It's the one that Laundress took to the regular one.
All right. So I send a quick D message to Laundress saying that someone probably followed you to Salo. Keep your wits about you.
And is this as I link back in?
And you're like in the office now? It's like, whoops.
Like now I'm downstairs? Like
no. This happens just as you're finishing up the book. The linking book.
Oh, okay. So I haven't hidden the other one yet.
No, not yet.
Well, now I'm gonna burn it.
Okay.
Heck. Okay. So this. Oh. All right.
While he's thinking, can I do a little bit of investigation? Like, how did someone get in here?
Sure. Let's go. That's going to be probably not particularly hard for you.
The same way Toma goes out. Right?
Yeah, just do a quick notice roll versus a 3.
Well, that's a 2 total. I'm going to use my last fate point and leave no stone unturned.
There we go.
4+2.
Okie doke. There has been a window pried open. Looks like relatively recently. There's also there's you still have there's still some residue also in terms of the that little some residue that you would kind of say from some sort of small explosive.
Mm-hmm.
Like a very small sort of shaped charge sort of thing.
Yep, the kind that you use to get rid of blocks when you don't care how loud it is.
Yes. And exactly. So these are definitely somebody with access to explosives that are specifically designed to blow through locks and such has made their way to through into the second story and made it over to the Salo book.
And it's your tactical murder rocks.
Yep.
All right. This sounds definitely like something the secret police would do. And obviously I need to beef up the security.
But we did put a book there, like there's a book next to that linking point for the Guild of Maintainers. I think we left a quarantine book there.
Yeah, there is a quarantine book.
Find the totally legit quarantine book.
Yes.
Right, because that's why it's not one of the Cult of Tree ones, because this is one of the actual Guild of Maintainers. Mm-hmm. Crap, I'm gonna have to send Talon a message that somebody's destroying his book. Oh.
No one broke a book. They just
So Laundress, what are you doing with that now? Now that you've got your book and you were about to hide it.
Well, I was gonna hide it. Then I got this message. And of course, because this was supposed to be routine and people were supposed to like as far as Landris is aware, like I've got 3 people back all trying to figure out what the heck happened on Salo. And 2 guildmasters, one of them being the guildmaster of the secret police, all like about to come breathe down our neck, but somebody has followed me. My assumption in the short term is that they are still following me. And the last thing I want is for them to find our office book and for one of our office books to be out in the wild. So I'm going to set a fire, but I'm going to wait until I'm going to set the fire out of view of where the link-in point would be, but somewhere where I can see into the link-in point. So I have to climb a little bit or something to do this, or whatever I've got to do. I want to be able to see them, but not let them be able to see me from the live panel. If that makes sense.
That makes sense.
So that when they link in, I can see who it is. Because we can't take pictures with our D, right?
That's
think
been,
that's correct.
laundry. I mean, I know Mashavin worked on them a little bit, so they have some options there.
I don't.
Because if I could take a picture, I'd straight up take a picture.
You don't think you added that?
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I thought you had.
Then Laundress is gonna like either A, see if he recognizes this person, or B, take down like every detail about this person mentally, so that he can like, and then link out burning the book behind him.
Okay.
You think they'll find? They think that you think they're gonna find the hidden book.
Well, because Kennelin wasn't that far off, and if they're, because here's the deal,
they should be able to find your path. Is what you're worried about.
right? They might be able to find my path and then be able to find it that way.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, Laundress isn't stealthy, and probably doesn't know how to hide his tracks in the desert sands.
Your like his path through the fields of wheat, like just like this super
like a red dotted line.
Like that guy must have walked for a day chilling on.
Okay, so you get that all set up. And so you're gonna wait a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait till somebody links through.
Okay, someone does link through. It is Denis, obviously Denis, but not someone who you recognize.
Okay.
And looks in and looks around and sort of slowly starts to survey and walk around the town. Obviously looking for not trying to be they are being quiet. They're not attracting attention to themselves and just kind of looking around, looking for something.
So if he's not, is it a he, a she? What can I tell about this person?
I mean, you can catch their face. You can get a good look at them. Is the he wearing relatively nondescript, Denis clothing? Nothing with guild symbols or anything like that on it.
Okay, but I can take down like a very like mustache, like hair color.
Yeah.
Like that, I can get a pretty accurate description of this person, like jotted down.
Yeah.
Do you want to see what they're looking for first?
Well, so before I link out, because he hasn't seen me yet, from my vantage point, like I'm gonna pay attention to where in the town he's looking. Like, is he heading towards the volcano in that direction, or is he just like searching the nearby houses?
He's begun to search the nearby houses. It's definitely, he's being kind of, like I said, he's not drawing attention to himself, but he's sort of methodically looking through everything.
And does he seem concerned about what's happening with the volcano?
He does not.
Could just be looking for survivors, but...
Well, no, because you don't break into our house to look for survivors. He's looking for our book, is what he's looking for.
Or you.
Yeah, or you.
Or me.
Trying to jump you.
Or me. That's the other thing.
So they can come to our office whenever they want. They don't need a linking book.
Oh, crap. Oh, no. Landris has a terrible idea. Oh, no. Oh, crap. Okay. All right. I don't know who's back at the office right now, but okay.
Mashavin only.
Mashavin.
Well,
right. You can send you a D message. She knows.
Yes. Oh God. Okay. So I'm gonna send him a D message back saying, "Wait for me upstairs." Oh crap! This is terrible. This is such a bad idea. Oh, there's so many stupid things about to happen. Oh, Landris, you dumb child. Okay. Landris is gonna. Okay, this is the plan. I'm gonna tell it to V, and then she can figure out timing and everything else. Landris has written this age that only Landris knows about, and it's in his mind the only place where any of our crap could be safe, where we won't get jumped and people won't know about it. As it stands right now. So Landris is about to link back and be like, "Hey, Mashavin, be cool. this is an illegal age I wrote. I don't know if it's safe, but I'm going to go through right now and hide a bunch of our crap so that it doesn't get found here. And hopefully I won't get eaten by anything because he's never been there. But it should be stable? Question mark? I don't know. We're going to figure it out real quick. Also, please don't let anybody find this book, because if they do, that's probably going to happen again, because clearly bad crap's happening up here. And yeah, let's find a better place for this book right now. I don't know. Like, geez.
Well, I'm like, when you said horrible idea, I'm like, wow, I've got it. I'm like, oh, I know what it is. I'm like, nope, mine's a totally different horrible idea.
Yeah, no, I'm
like,
gonna die.
Outlanders see the guy link through and leave the office book behind, and then like jump the guy when he comes to the office. Make him.
Oh, see, no, I would totally go to like, I'm about to get eaten by a wark.
Okay. Maybe Mishavin will be able to talk him down, but
okay.
yeah,
But you are doing the fire thing. Link out of.
I am burning the book on the way out.
Okay.
Okie doke. So you wow. So while that's happening, let's go back to Kenneth and Tome. So you have linked into to Salo. You've found a relatively appropriate place to place our late friend. That's a little bit away from the link point. Not obvious. Like, look, here's a body that I've come in. What else are you guys doing?
Yeah, I assume we brought a shovel with us. We did some digging, kind of made a makeshift grave. I didn't really have any intentions beyond doing that. Maybe kind of, leaving some small respectful marker of the gravesite and then linking back to our headquarters.
That same with you, Kenneth?
Yeah, Kenneth will simply tell Toma that, like, don't worry, we're not going to leave him here. Like, we'll make sure like he goes to a place where that's significant to you. Like, this is not the last, like, the last resting place. This is temporary, and I'm sorry, kind of a thing.
Makes sense. Okie doke. And then you guys are linking back to the office?
Totally, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the spirit of dramatic coincidence, Laundress links in, and you begin to explain this to Mishavin?
Yeah, I pull out my book. Well, okay, I'm gonna look around. I would say I'm really gonna make sure nobody's looking.
Yeah, that's
like,
cool.
I would almost get all of the camera, like nobody can see what's about to happen. Like, trying very much in that, like, okay, like the paranoid teen who's trying to hide the fact that he, drank some beer for mom and dad, right?
Yep.
Like, that level of paranoia is being spouted at you, Mishavin. Like, nobody can see what we're about to do.
Mishavin is giving him a really suspicious look.
So you explain your plan and then start grabbing stuff?
Well, I need to make sure, like, if he's just giving me a suspicious look, I'm like, no. Okay. Does the, like, have I ever asked you for anything before in my entire life, Mishavin? You just need.
Yes.
Well, here's another one.
You need to trust me.
Trust me.
Like, doing the whole, like, shake, like, the shoulders and everything. Like, while that, like, there is a man after us right now. We gotta move quick.
I think that you can hold on just a smidgen, and maybe we can get a little bit more opinion to maybe not do something so reckless. Like linking into an unexplored, untested age by a novice.
Well, he hasn't mentioned the age yet.
Oh, okay.
Look, before he's mentioning this book, even pulling it, he's making sure there's no one around that can spot this. Like, we want this to be completely off the record and completely off the grid, so that what happened with that book doesn't happen with this book.
Well, I apparently cannot completely guarantee that anymore. Give me a week and I can.
Right, because maybe there's spy cameras.
So then he's gonna ask. So where's okay? You can't. Toma's really good at this. Where's Toma?
Toma's the brains of the operation. Where is she?
Well, as far as like spying weird, shady people lurking around our crap, Toma's the best.
Yep.
Like that's what he knows because she's the one who's found him every single time.
They went to bury the body in our private bit of Solo.
Okay.
And should be back soonish.
Okay.
So Landris is chilling then?
Well, he's not exactly chilling. He's freaking the hell out.
But he's not doing
Excuse
anything.
me. Yeah, pardon my French. Yeah, he's not doing anything yet because unless it's safe, well, safe being a relative term here.
Yep.
Unless it's safe, he's not pulling out that book because he doesn't want anybody else to know about this book.
Okay, so if you're not going to do anything else, Tomei and Kenneth will link on in.
Okay.
Wow. Hi, you're all in the same place.
Sulfur again.
No, they do not smell sulfur. They smell, the pleasant forest smells of Salo.
Yeah. Smell like dirt.
Dirt, sap.
Well, I thought you said the office smelled like sulfur again because of the explosion.
Oh, it's been cleared out.
Oh, okay.
Just a tiny explosion. Probably magnesium or phosphorus.
Yep. Okay, so you're in the same place.
Well, we're upstairs. They're downstairs.
Oh, are we? Okay.
I call Kenneth and Toma up saying,
yeah.
Can someone help me with Landris? He seems to be excited or overwrought, perhaps.
Toma and Kenneth a concerned look.
Yeah, like what happened that he should be suddenly more excited than when he left. Like things were bad enough when he left.
So Landris just points at the exploded safe. And then looks to Toma and say, I need to know if anybody can see or hear us right now. Can you make sure we're safe?
I can try. I can, I don't know what skill check I'd use for that, but I can look into it.
Survival?
I'd be willing to go with survival on this one.
I say, whatever you use to find the shadow guy.
Yeah, it was not survival, but I happen to be good at that right now. So let's go with survival.
I'll have roll versus 4.
Okay. The roll was 0, but the skill is a 4. So
okay, yeah. You can kind of take a look around. You check your usual places. How you get the places that you kind of wiggle to get through to get out and skip. To check the area, that sort of thing. You don't see anything out of the ordinary, except of course the intrusion area that they came in through the window and the lock exploded on the safe. But everything else looks normal.
Okay.
I'm unsure. So was that result getting a 4 on a 4 skill check was
a tie?
Was what?
You have 4 on a 4 skill. That was a tie. So
right.
0.
So there may be information that I'm missing here.
It is possible since it only is a tie.
Can I invoke my undercover public figure aspect? Because I'm back up 3 fate points here.
I'd be willing to go with that.
All right, so I want to add a +2 there because something's still not adding up here. They needed to know where the box was. It was surgical. They came in, they got it, they were gone.
They knew what book exactly that he had linked through.
Right.
Okay. So you do a search around and let's see here how to put it. You can kind of see a few scratches here and there. Looks like someone scrambled up the wall, on the outside, to get to the window. Probably just very quickly. But But other than that, like I said, you're pretty certain that there's no one watching or anything like that,
Okay.
as far as you can tell.
Okay. But Mishavan, from as far as you know, you heard a break-in, some sort of sound of a break-in. You went upstairs immediately, and already it was over, right?
Yeah, there was a little small explosion that I heard, like a pop, so to speak, and that was definitely a lock being blown up. And
Right.
between when I heard that and the few seconds it took to get upstairs, they had already licked it.
Right. So clearly we're dealing with experts here. This seems, if it wasn't already apparent, this seems much more likely to be the Relima than to be the Cult of the Tree.
That was my thought.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we're good to talk amongst ourselves. It doesn't seem like we're being.
All right, we're clear, Landers.
All right. Okay. So he first looks to Mishav and says, "You're good at making locks."
Yep.
Yes. Like after he looks at the yes, you're good at making locks. We're gonna need you to lock something. And then he looks to Tome. He's like, "You're good at hiding things. They've never found anything you've hidden. We need you to hide something." And then he goes, and it is the most like, if anybody had really probably looked, they could have probably spotted this. Because it is the most like teenage kid hidden under like in the pillow, like pull out some of the stuffing and then it's in there. He pulls out a descriptive book. He's like, "We need to hide things. Now, I haven't linked here yet. But no one knows about it. It doesn't have a name. It's, working title, question mark, soon TM, right? I don't know if it's safe, but if they're coming in and they're blowing up our stuff, it might be safer than here. To at least hide things."
This is a bad idea.
How many maintainer suits do we have left now that we just buried a corpse in one of them?
I would assume 4.
Probably 3,
Yeah.
because they were only planning for 4 of us.
Oh,
That's true.
right.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3.
Good call.
Well, Devlin didn't get us a 4th one? I thought he was getting us all this extra cool stuff. Man.
Well, we haven't asked for it yet.
No.
That's fair. All right, so we got 3.
Well, and besides, Kenneth did volunteer to be part of the rescue thing, so she's supposed to be heading on over to the Guild of Engineers anyway, right? So if other people wanted to suit up, like she's still gotta pretend that they're doing exactly what they said they were doing.
There's that. And, you
Right.
do have that Kennelin book that you just wrote.
Yep. Oh, yeah, I give
So
that.
I could take the original, right? Because you brought the original, because we were going to give them the original descriptive book.
The Kennelin book you had was a linking book, not the original descriptive book.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
No,
like
the only
linking
one.
book, but
Yeah, the only one I have is the one I just wrote. I don't know if he destroyed it on the way through.
right, but we were supposed to bring them.
We're supposed to bring. No,
them
we're supposed
the
to
book.
bring.
So how did he follow you through? Because we were supposed to bring.
I
them
can't bring a linking book
only.
with me when I link through.
Yeah,
No, we were just
they weren't
bringing them.
expecting- Oh.
Yeah, They've never seen the
they're gonna know
Kennelin
that
book.
we made an extra book now. Because the only way to go and get the original Kennelin book is to link back into Salo and go get the original book, like the
That's
original
if
that we
it's.
had.
Well, that's if it's the Reluma. If it's Tellin's people, that's a different thing. But no, because the big thing is they were only expecting us to bring a linking book. I was very vague in that on purpose.
Yep.
Yes, I was very vague on purpose. But if he burned the Kennelin book that was hidden on Sallow, this is the only Kennelin book we have now.
We might need to know that.
Right.
Right. So do you want to send somebody? Because if someone followed you into Kennelin, that means they know
where the Kennelin book is.
Where the Kennelin book is, and they'll know if you gave them a fake because you couldn't have brought it because it's still there.
Yeah.
Right. But you haven't told us that there was anybody following you.
Oh no, I mentioned. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
I'll mention that.
Okay. Yeah. So
Share that with
I'm
the whole
interjecting,
class.
saying
Yeah.
they will now know that we have our own copy of the Kennelin book, or if we present them with one, because depending on what we find, if we go back to Salo and the book is gone, and then we're gonna have to go back and go, the book was gone. We don't know what happened to it, and then not let on, because we don't want to walk up with a Kennelin book and have them go, oh, where'd you get that from? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think all of us should go this time, because
Oh man, but after
to check, because
after what just happened though, we don't want to keep one person here.
Well, I wouldn't want to leave anybody alone. We'd have to do in pairs, I'd say.
we can do pairs.
Right?
So you guys are going to go check to see if the Kennelin book is still there?
Yes.
I'll
think that
fast
would be
forward
wise so that-
this one a bit and say, because the Kennelin book is still there.
Okay.
So that way you don't have to put a lot.
And,
we don't have to do a
nobody
lot
tries
of,
to accost us. Okay.
Yeah, that way you don't have to worry about it too much. But
Right.
the Kennelin
Because
book
then
is still
let's
there where you left it.
Except then I would probably hide it, right? To make it look like it wasn't there. Oh, I totally brought it.
Well, that's possible. Yeah.
Right? Because if we follow this through, we're gonna have to pretend that they got there before Laundress did, so that we can bring them the book, because they already linked through it, right?
Yes. So we should bring both at this point and keep one of them. Somewhere.
So I should go and get one of them, and we'll give them one of the two. It doesn't have to be the original one we were given, but we have to remove that book from Salo, because it can't be there, or they'll know we lied.
Yep.
Also, why don't you just bring a linking book back to the office with you?
Yeah. So I'll just
When you go to
run
retrieve
and
it?
grab the book and bring a linking book to the office and head back.
Because whoever's doing this knows that we had it there anyway.
Yeah.
So there's no reason for you to bother walking to our private area.
No, of course not.
So just link back from there and leave another office book there, I guess.
Yeah.
I need a spreadsheet of where all our office books.
But she's also athletic, so she can run. I'm sure we had a hidden office book.
It was about a day's walk away, remember?
But I'm sure we hid one near the entrance too.
We did.
Yeah, I mean, let's we can move ahead a little bit on this. I'm not worried about about this particular thing too much.
And I'll come back with
Yeah.
So
So there was no Kennelin book in Salo any longer.
Okay.
And there are two. You guys have two Kennelin Lincoln books to Kennelin in your office at the moment, and you guys are doing
the next step.
Yeah. So what's the next step? Because this office is no longer safe. Is Landris's major point?
At the moment, like I said, give me a week.
A lot can happen in a week, though. That's the issue. Especially a dunny week. They're longer.
Extra hours.
I think our next planned step was to go to the Guild of Engineering and meet with their rescue team.
Yeah.
Is that still our plan?
Yeah.
So at this point in time, we are not stashing anything in Landris's home.
I didn't volunteer all of us for rescue mission.
Okay.
I volunteered myself and was very clear about that. So they won't necessarily expect everybody to be there.
I think I would like to be there for that, because I want to see how they're going to handle Kennelin.
That makes sense. So I know I didn't volunteer anybody extra. I was actually very careful not to do that. So that means we're all kind of free to decide. So, but Toma's coming with, we have a Kennelin book. What are Laundress, Mishavan, how are you guys feeling?
I'm torn between suddenly securing everything in the office and being going back.
One question, what are we trying to secure? They technically know what books they gave us to go and look at, so they have the descriptive books. We don't actually have anything they want.
Lost Hope,
except
Stellar.
Yeah, but they gave us the books. Those are just descriptive books. They know they gave them to us. They know where the descriptive books are, probably.
Well, they're not descriptive
but
books, they're
don't know
linking
about
books.
the listing.
But this is all under the assumption that it's the Reliuma who broke in. If it's Talon's people who broke in, also if Talon finds out that, like, because ultimately, like, we still need to hide all those other books somewhere.
Right, and if the lock's off, we have to hide that from Talon. Okay, because I was just thinking, well, from the main people, the only thing is the list in your pocket. But I keep forgetting about Talon being it. I mean, we don't think
Talon's people are that good.
Talon's a pain. He's probably, well, I say he's probably not the that guy, but that would just be the thing, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It's always the person you most medium suspect, right? Isn't that what Dwight said?
He's like, I'm not. I'm the worst guy.
Yes. But regardless, with the Guild of Maintainers, even if he's on the level and legit, if he finds out where it, because remember how much he freaked out about Unai.
Yeah.
So we need to protect those other ones and hide them.
I didn't mean to interject, but I was like, wait a minute. What are we hiding? Oh, we're hiding it from Talon. Got it. You keep going.
Okay, then I'll stay home.
Okay, because go ahead.
Do things. I want to design like single book safes that I can then hide around the office.
Okay, so you're doing that. And Kenneth and Tomei are gonna head off to the relief mission meeting place. Laundress is going to do.
So first thing he would do is explain to everybody that it was a ghost town, that the guy followed through, like, and that, like, it was a ghost town. Like, there's nobody there anymore. So whether they vacated willingly, if somebody else showed up afterwards, like, and also the very key fact of this person who came through after me was not concerned about the state of the volcano or the other things in the age, and was just going through houses there.
Laundress, did you see baskets full of paper kind of lying around the entrance, like in a circle around the entrance to the village?
I mean, were they still there?
Like a lot, yeah. Like, were there a lot of baskets?
I'm asking V, were they still there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Did he say yes?
Okay. So probably not the cult moving people then, or else they would have taken the paper.
Likely.
Right? Like, you don't take the witnesses and leave the evidence. Yeah. Right? So, okay. Not as worried about that part now.
I mean, unless they're gonna frame us for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With your legal book.
Okay, we're about at about 4 o'clock, so we're close to time. So let's kind of do our wrap up things, and then we'll move on to get ready for the next session. So so it sounds like we're going to be starting the next session kind of split. We got different people doing different things, which is fine.
Yeah.
Is there anything we want to get settled before we break until the next session?
Well, it's okay that we didn't all want to link to his untested, unvetted.
No. I told you it was a terrible idea. I told you it was 100% a terrible idea. Like, Landris will probably be staying with Mashavan to help him around the office as much as he can, because, like, if nothing else, to just be like buddy system now. We always go off in pairs. Like, nobody goes alone anymore.
Should probably update via D.
Yeah.
But like, like not too much info in case they're reading our deep messages.
Right.
Oh dear. If our communications are compromised, then we're definitely in trouble.
Yeah. Blah 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 body. It's like, oh, they didn't mention a body.
Yeah.
Body. Ba apostrophe D-I. It's a guy.
Yeah.
We are helping him rest.
Yes.
These are my cousins.
Yeah, updating Celia in some manner is a good idea.
What? So
yes,
yeah, if there's enough, I think then like I said, we've gotten to about 4. So
yeah.
any other? I mean, listen, we got you guys are going that way. We got two different directions, and we'll figure out where Celia fits in at the beginning of the next session. Now, she will have finished,
yeah.
the long, standards and new practices training required of all surveyors. Oh hi. Um,
I'm really interested in the TLDR, whoever gives it to Celia.
I feel like Celia should at least get like a surveying skill point out of this.
exactly. Yeah.
I agree.
Okie doke. Any last thoughts that you want to share? Any last little bits of discussion you guys want to talk over real quick, or?
I think Toma is just grateful to Landris for helping to make a copy of Annalyn. Like, she hasn't had the best history with Landris, always being the runaway, the one to head off into danger. But I think she really appreciates him kind of, trusting her and helping out in that way and getting her out of a sticky situation.
Awesome.
Right now, you're the only 4 people in the world he trusts. So you might all be terrible when it comes to first exploring new ages, but at least you're trustworthy.
You just don't follow protocols, but you're my people.
Exactly. You're my black sheep.
Okie doke. Well, go ahead and say to everybody watching, either live or on the video, thanks for watching. If once again, I'll plug the Patreon. That's the address that's down there, and I'll plug Cyan. Give Cyan lots of money, and hopefully I'll see a bunch of people this next weekend at Mysterium. If you see me around, or feel free to chat me about game stuff or whatever. We may Kat had talked a little bit about there might be a side discussion for Unwritten fans or such in one of the breakout rooms. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but there, like I said, there is something at least on Sunday for Unwritten. And our next session will be at the normal time, which is the first Saturday, and that's August 7th. And so we will see you all there. Okay, thank you very much. Sure.
Bye.
Bye.